Welcome to the Swing Trainer instructional video. Before we begin, there are two critically important things to know about how we learn and ingrain motor patterns in our brain. We learn fastest when we have the benefit of real-time feedback, as when a beginner piano player hits a wrong note. Nothing can substitute for the real-time feedback in our golf swing learning process. Not videos, not motion capture technology, or even an instructor's feedback after a swing. Therefore, during training, we must execute a motor pattern at a speed that allows us to feel what is happening with our body during the movement. The transition and downswing at an amateur's normal swing speed happens in about 1/3 of a second. This is simply not enough time for us to feel our body positions during the downswing. The fastest way to learn and ingrain a motor pattern is to do it slowly at first, to facilitate real-time feedback. The pro transition trainers are designed with this in mind. The trainers have guides to give real-time feedback, and the swing trainer has regressive resistance to help encourage a measured pace and proper swing sequence. The exercises on the swing trainer that are shown in this video are for ingraining the ideal swing pattern and should not be done at more than half the speed of a normal swing. The swing trainer can also be used to increase core strength and power using higher resistances, but that is not covered in this video and should only be done by golfers who have already mastered the swing fundamentals. Now let's get started. When setting the proper height of the resistance trainer for most golfers, the middle of the golf handle should be about eye level when they're standing upright. For golfers with flatter than normal swings, the top of the handle should be about eye level, and for swings that are more upright than normal, the bottom of the golf handle should be about eye level. Remove the adjustment pin and slide the resistance trainer to the appropriate height and replace the pin in the nearest adjustment hole. The hip board has a sculpted raised vertical bump from top to bottom that helps align the golfer on the swing trainer to the same position every time. The golfer gets into their address position with their tailbone centered over and lightly touching this bump. From here, the trail hip guide is positioned so that it is lightly touching the golfer's trail hip at approximately pocket height. Adjust as needed and always make sure the connecting hooks are all the way down in the slots for all of the guides for a firm fit. The shoulder board base should be positioned at hip height approximately 3 or 4 inches away from the lead hip when the golfer is in their address position. This can vary for different stance widths, but most importantly, when the golfer reaches the impact position, the lead hip should be touching the shoulder board base and directly over the lead ankle. It may take a couple of tries to find this position. The hip board has the columns marked with letters and the rows marked with numbers to help record the settings for the guide positions that work best for each golfer. Just make a note of them once satisfied they're correct. Now that the guides are in the proper position, the golfer grasps the handle with a normal golf grip and brings it down to the address position. The spine should be tilted away from the target modestly, with the tailbone lightly touching the hip board bump and the trail hip very near or touching the trail hip guide. The swing trainer facilitates a proper takeaway and full wide backswing, but the following guidelines will help ensure a great position at the top from which to begin the transition to the downswing. To begin the takeaway, rotate the shoulders away from the target while keeping the hands directly in front of the chest. Do not allow the wrists to roll. Continue the shoulder rotation while allowing the hips to be pulled around by the torso. The trail hip should stay in contact with the trail hip guide. The wrists begin to cock when the hands reach waist high, not before. The hands are kept as far away from the body as possible and begin to elevate when waist high. The lead arm is kept straight and the elbows close together. The trail knee stays bent throughout the backswing. The backswing is complete when the shoulders have rotated as much as the body will allow. Now that you're at the top, it's time for the downswing. The first and most important move in the transition from backswing to downswing is to simultaneously rotate and laterally move the lead hip before the arms or upper body begin to move. We cannot overstate the importance of this move. It sets up the entire sequence to get to the ideal impact position. Without doing this, there is little to no chance of creating a powerful, accurate, and repeatable swing. The goal is to get the lead hip and buttocks into the corner created by the hip board and shoulder board base as quickly as possible. This should happen before the hands descend to waist high. As the hands begin to descend, the wrist should remain soft and wrist cock should increase, creating maximum lag. While in a normal full golf swing, the handle would be pointing at the ground at impact. For this exercise, the golf handle should be generally parallel to the ground, all the way to the end of the downswing at impact position. This is done to ingrain maintaining lag, which is critical to power and a natural release. Be sure to go back to the correct address position each time before doing the next rep. The golfer should simulate the swing in slow motion from the address all the way to impact each time they do a rep. For each session, do 3 sets of 20 reps, taking a short break between sets.